Hey, this is Peggy with Easy Peasy Machine Embroidery, and I am in the P+2 Ultra softwares, and I am going to try to attempt to show you the sequence of how I did my Crazy Patch Easter egg. So, here we go. The Easter egg hopefully will look something like this when you're done with it. So what I did is I printed out the EDO file that I did in the Create module. There'll be a separate video on that. So I printed that out and I numbered on my template. And mind you, you want to print your template at 100%. So you just go in either of the softwares and do File, Print, and you should see a whole lot of options for dimensions and hoop size and the color chart and those kinds of things. That's where you want to be. And you want to make sure that you print the actual picture. You're going to have to tape it out, but the actual picture at 100%. And what I do is I take and cut these out along this line, and that's what I use for my templates to cut the actual fabric pieces. When you cut the actual fabric pieces, they should be about 1/4 to 1/2 inch bigger than the actual template. So then we get to step, well, it's not actually step one. In the stitch out, you would be stitching the oval first onto some stabilizer, and that's going to show you where to put your um, warm and natural or some other kind of batting. If you don't mind wasting fabric, I can tell you that I just lay a flat piece down that's exactly the same size as the inside of my hoop. In either case, I do one stitching to stitch the batting down after the placement line, and I do another stitch around to sew the fabric down, and then I do the placement line so I can see where things go. That will all be explained in the file where I show you how to do the EDO file and create. Okay, this is just going to show you how to lay your pieces down. So basically what I did is you're starting at the upper left-hand corner, and the top two pieces, that's these two, I'm going to overlap them, and then I'm going to make sure that they cover both all the outside lines that were stitched down. So I'm going to lay them right sides together, and this is the first line that will stitch out. So then I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to iron those two pieces flat with a small iron. They have little tiny applique irons. You can get the mini iron. You can use a regular iron. So the next thing that you're going to lay down is this piece. Is my mouse not working right? Is this piece right here, and you're going to lay it face down against these two. And what I did is I cut it so it went way out into here, a little bit extra. So that extra 1/2 inch is going to come out into here. You're going to lay it face down against these two, and you're going to do the next stitching is right here across this edge. Then you're going to go down and iron it out so it looks like this. The next piece you're going to place on is piece number 4, and this piece is going to be laid face down against the other 3 pieces, and the stitching line is going to go right through here. Open it up, iron it down so it's flat, and then you're going to put on this piece, so face down against this seam, stitch it out, iron it out. After all of the fabric pieces are put down, I believe I trimmed the excess fabric away as close as I could to that stitching line on both sides. Do not unhoop your fabric at this point. Just take the applique shears and trim around. The back side would be the batting, and the front side you're going to trim and trim as close as you can without actually cutting the stitching line. The motifs are next, and the motifs are going to go from this block to this block, this block, this block, and this block. So it should end up looking like this. Your satin stitches are next, and I believe it's going to sew the satin stitches the same way as the fabric went down. So this one first, then this one, then this one, and then this one. At that point, what you're going to do is take the fabric that you're going to put on the back, and you're going to create a mock hem. You can even sew across it if you desire, but you're going to have that edge folded over, and you're going to lay two pieces that are overlapping. So one up here is going to overlap this one. Make sure that the mock hem is covered by both pieces, that they are overlapping. And so then you're going to stitch around the entire egg. You're going to be very careful over this seam right here because it can get caught in your center Q foot or whatever embroidery foot you're using. I sometimes will tape, cut my fabric so it's a little bit bigger, and I can tape it out here to hold things in place. Tape that stitching line down. If you have a tape that's easy to tear away, you can just you can just place the tape as close or right over that seam line and take the tape out later. And after you've done the sequence stitching around here, I think I've probably got it at least once or twice, maybe 3 times around that, so that it's definitely going to hold it on. And then you're basically done. You're just going to unhoop it. I trim away all this extra fabric with a set of pinking shears. Get rid of all that extra, and then I turn it right side out, and you should have what I showed you in the beginning, the motif crazy stitch Easter eggs. Okay, so thanks for listening. Bye.